Welcome guys to the Meet Damien live stream. We're going to take a look at the price of Bitcoin as we normally do first here before we start getting into the requests. We see that the price of Bitcoin currently trading at $74,400, coming up against the 50-day moving average, which I'm a little bit worried could be a problem here until it shows us that it's no longer going to be a problem. I have said that, you know, we saw the 50-day moving average could be a target for us in the last few days that we've been looking at this chart here. It was hanging out near 76K, and that kind of made sense because 76K was the level that we got up to back here on the middle of March 17th here, and it just made sense that we could probably do a double top and then come back down. Now we're at this moving average, and it's actually above us at 75,100. Are we gonna make a lower high and then get sent down to lower prices here? Because this 50-day average really has been a problem ever since we've been in this bear market in Bitcoin. Last time we came up to the 50-day moving average, if you guys can remember here, was back here on January 14th. We came up to like $97,000 Bitcoin, almost 98,000. It was $97,900 Bitcoin, and people were like, "Oh my God, we are so back. Bitcoin's gonna be going back to 100K," and then sure enough, it didn't go to 100K, and we got sent right back down to lower prices, and then we ended up going lower than the 80K level that we saw back here in November. We dropped down over to the 60K level here. Oh, I didn't mean to do that. I just messed up my line there. I didn't know that line wasn't locked in. Let me go ahead and lock that in. But we came down to that 60K level here after we got rejected by that 50-day moving average, that green line, okay? And this green line has been a problem, right? Ever since like October of last year, you know, after Bitcoin topped out at 126K, we lost the 50-day moving average to 100 to 200. Got support up to 200-day moving average. Then we came up to the 50-day moving average back here in October, when it was sitting at like $114,000 for the 50-day moving average. Lost that green line. Haven't come back to it since January. Lost it again. And now here we are trying to meagerly make our way back up to this 50-day moving average. I feel like this thing could act as resistance one more time here. If it doesn't act as resistance, that'd be great, because that means we can see higher prices for Bitcoin. Maybe we can actually make it past the 50-day moving average and hit that 100-day moving average. That blue line sitting at $79,800. Okay, that would be the next target to look for the upside. I'd be like just shy of 80K. I think when we get up to 80K, you know, we could see 80K be an issue for us. All right, I'm gonna get out of this. All right, hold on a second. I don't know what these guys are doing here on my TikTok. How you doing? We're over here talking about the price of Bitcoin and crypto. All right. Decline. I don't want to do the match invite. Oh man. Well, we'll just continue doing this as is without the volume on TikTok here. But yeah, I think that 100-day moving average could be an issue until it's no longer an issue here. Okay. And also the 50-day moving average could be an issue until it's no longer an issue. So those levels I'm looking for on the upside is basically 75K and then 80K, because of the moving average is above us. To the downside, if we were to sell off, we do have the 21 EMA right below us, and that's sitting at $69,500 here. Maybe that acts as support. But the other level that I know for sure that has been acting as support is 67K. That's another support level which has acted as support all throughout the last couple of months here. I've already said it on my live streams. I'll say it again. I think 67K is going to be a good area for support for Bitcoin. We also said 63K could be an area as well. We don't really stay down there for too long. So if you're able to get lucky enough to get filled for a long on Bitcoin at 63K, you might as well take a shot at that area. All right, let me go ahead and take a look at the requests here. Say hi to you guys in the chat. We got Jay Shareem saying, yo, Damien. He wants to take a look at MU and Poet. Let me go ahead and write those down. Yeah, let me try to fix this YouTube stream here. I'm not even sure how to get out of this co-host thing. Yeah, but anyways, let me go ahead and write these things down here, and then I'm going to see if I can fix this TikTok stream. Let me see. How do we get out of this? I mean, I could probably just restart the stream all over again for TikTok, see if that fixes it. Let me go ahead and see if I can do that. Yeah, yeah. Let me get out of this. I gotta restart this TikTok stream here all over again. Sorry about this for my YouTube guys. Something got messed up over here. Trying to fix things for my YouTube guy. I mean for my TikTok streamers. All right. Try this all over again. Anyways, as I'm waiting for you know, TikTok to fire up one more time here, let me take a look at Poet, and then we'll take a look at MU. We'll get those showing up here on the board. Poet. Poet, which is a NASDAQ stock here, stock on the NASDAQ. Currently trading at $7.30, up 3.69% today. We're coming up on the golden pocket. Matter of fact, we actually got rejected at the golden pocket. On my Fibonacci here, I drew a Fibonacci from 942 down to like 469, which was like the high that we did back here in January. Okay, we came right up to it, hit it like a T. I mean, we were at $7.75. That was right where that golden pocket level was at. Got rejected, and now we're coming right back down, probably to this 0.5 retracement at $7.06. We're just shy of it, just above it. But I would like to see us climb back up again to higher prices and get maybe past this golden pocket. But I have said that, you know, I think in last time you asked me to take a look at Poet, we said that Poet, you could get rejected because of the golden pocket here, and then also this downtrend line that we've been in, which is forming basically a symmetrical triangle here. Okay, you got a symmetrical triangle here, and you know, you can sell the top, try to buy the bottom again near the uptrend on Poet, and right now that uptrend line kind of hanging out right where this 0.32 retracement is at $6.50. That's where I would try to put in a long or to my position here on, because we bullishly consolidate within this symmetrical triangle. You got some ideas here, uptrend line here, and then also the 0.32 retracement. That's why I would try to add to my position on Poet if you know, if I was interested in doing that. Let's see if Poet has momentum to go up to higher prices though, because we might not even go down to lower prices. Let's see what momentum is looking like here on the MACD indicator. Momentum is looking pretty solid. You're in the green. Yeah, your MACD crossover here Tuesday, April 7th, last week. And yeah, blue line is heading straight up to higher levels here. Should bring prices up with it. I think the MACD looks fine on the daily time frame. And then on the money flow, right? The money flow and divergence indicator here. We do have money flow in the green on the daily time frame. Momentum is heading up, and you also got a green buy down here that came in on Tuesday, March 31st. So I think everything's fine and dandy for higher prices here on Poet, unless you see a red sell dot come up here on the on the market cipher B moving average. Money flow divergence indicator here. As long as you start seeing, you know, you continue to see green and you're not getting a red sell dot here, I think you'll be fine on Poet for higher prices here. So I would put my bet that this thing is going to actually probably head up to the golden pocket one more time, probably head up to the top of this downtrend line here. And then we'll see, you know, how we handle ourselves. Once we get up to like $8, are we going to actually continue on and go up to 786 retracement? Are we going to then try to make our highs here at $9.40 here, like we did back, you know, back here in January? Okay, I like to see that. I like to see Poet do that, but we'll see. You know, $8 is another idea to try to take some profit, as far as I see here. Let's move on from Poet. We'll take a look at MU. We're now looking at MU micron technology here. And I can see that Micron currently trading at $426, up only 1.42% today. You are obviously bullish on this chart here. This is what you want to see on any asset that you're in, where prices are going up and to the right, up and to the right. You're above the 200, 150-day moving average, and you're also above the 21 EMA. That is very bullish to see. At one point, you were just bullish, but now you're very bullish because you're above the 21 EMA, as well as all the other moving averages below you. So, nice to see that. My DeluxeAlgo indicator, signal indicator, is telling me that we should long here on February 12th. Okay, and sure enough, I think you're still above those prices from February 12th here. I see this as a potential bull flag, right? Let me just try to draw this out real quick here. If we got to disregard this little correction that we had here, and we just drew this as a flag, right? Just skip that one day that we got above the flag here. It's looking like we got a bull flag here for Micron. Let me get rid of the moving averages real quick here, and I'm going to just quickly draw out this flagpole here from this last higher low. And if we are going to continue being bullish, and if we're in this bull flag on Micron, right? You just put this, potential measure move here, this flagpole, you put on top of like where we could break out here at like $450 here on Micron. It's showing that we could get up to that blue number there, $696, that blue number right there for Micron Technologies. That's if we're going to be continuing to be bullish here. Let me just draw out the Fibonacci real quick here, see if Fibonacci kind of agrees with those levels as well. We got a 1618 that says we can get up to $619. Not quite the same as that target for $696. But the Fibonacci says that we could get up at least into the 600s here for Micron Technology. Now let's take a look at the momentum indicators here, see if we got the momentum to do that, to go up to the upside here. MACD indicator looks pretty good and solid to me. Once again, you got green buying pressure, very similar to Poet, where you got green buying pressure. The blue line is above the orange line. You got the MACD crossover that came in last Wednesday. Prices are probably going to head up just based on the MACD indicator here, unless we get a violent sell-off tomorrow and the blue line starts curving down. I think Micron wants to go up, not down. Okay. Just from the momentum on the MACD indicator. And now here on the money flow indicator, money flow is still solidly in the green. There's money going into this asset. You got your green buy knot that came in on April 1st, April Fool's Day. Wasn't a joke. You actually seen money go into this stock here. Momentum's going up. So I think you're fine to go to higher prices here for Micron. And sure enough, that's what you've been doing over the last week now. Ever since around like April 1st, you've been climbing up to higher prices here on Micron. So, I think you should start planning for, targets to the upside. Can we get back up to 468 like we saw back here on March 18th? Actually, it was at 471. Take that back. 471 was the high of the day there. Can we get up to that 1272 Fibonacci target to the upside? That's $534. I think higher prices are in store for Micron Technologies. Not sure why, but the charts are showing that that's there. All right, let's see if I get back into the chat here, see what you guys are saying. Jay says, thank you, Damien. Oh, you're welcome, Jay. And thank you for smashing that like button, Jay. Appreciate that. Let's go ahead and start smashing those like buttons. Let's let the YouTube and TikTok algorithm know that we get a good live stream here. Thank you, what? I see you smashing that like button. All you gotta do is double tap your screen here on TikTok to send the likes over here. Appreciate that. Let's see. All right. So I'm just trying to catch up and see if there's any requests here. If you guys have any requests, let me know what the requests are for your. Yep. Yeah, NFT Wizard. We actually do play crypto. Yep. Although we were looking at a couple of stocks here because of my buddy here, Jay. He's invested in some stocks here, and he wants to. He wanted me to take a look at them for. Wanted me to take a look at them for him. All right. Let's go into a cryptocurrency that's been the talk of the town this past week. You guys might have heard about it, seen it. maybe show up on your radar. If it hasn't shown up on your radar, I mean, I don't know what you've been doing, because this thing has been flying up and down all weekend long, but basically flying up for the most part, although it might be coming crashing down today. And that is Rave. We're going to take a look at Rave. We'll take a Rave on the perpetual futures for MEXC. Yep. So this cryptocurrency trading at $7.74 got as high as 12 bucks earlier today. We had a blow off top here on Rave. Okay. Just a few days ago, like on Thursday, April 7th, about a week ago, this thing was trading at 24 cents, and then out of nowhere it just started popping up 200% here on Thursday, up 61% here on last Friday, up 34% on Saturday, and another 176% yesterday, and then it went up to 34% today, believe it or not. But it was higher than that when we seen this thing get as high as like 12 bucks. Okay, I had to redraw the Fibonacci on this because this thing just kept going up and up and up and up. So let me just draw the Fibonacci so it reflects what we actually did here. We got to like $12.68. So let me just move that Fibonacci to $12.68 as best as I can. Okay, and yeah, the downside target, well, where we came from was around 23 cents. So with that being said, you can see right now on Rave, we're already at the golden pocket. Got $7.94. We're a little bit below that level, but that is your golden pocket, where you would expect this thing to do a normal pullback, and you did do a normal pullback to the 618. Now, I'm not quite sure if this cryptocurrency is actually going to climb back up to higher prices. If it does, one level to look forward to the upside is going to be the 786 at $10. $10 kind of makes sense. It's a psychological number. People probably want to either add to their longs if it can actually stay above 10 bucks, or they're probably looking to short at $10, especially if they're using the Fibonacci here. They're looking to try to add to their short or get into a short at $10.03 here and take this down to, I mean, how low could it go? I don't think there's much support below us. We could do a very deep retracement down to the 0.236 level here at $3.17. Okay. Let me go ahead and turn on the VRVP indicator, see what the volume nodes are looking like. Volume nodes are looking like you're not going to get much support until you get down to like $2.28. That should value your high sitting there. And then you got a blue line here at $2.11 here. So this cryptocurrency most likely will gravitate back towards $2 if we're not going to hold any of these levels on the Fibonacci here. Okay, if we can't hold the 0.236 or if we can't hold the 0.5, this thing will probably head right back down here to below $3 to the $2 level here. Now there is a little bit of volume here at 280, which is kind of confluent with this 0.236 at 317. So maybe if this thing is going to do a violent sell-off, which I would expect that with cryptocurrency world, because the harder we go up, the harder and faster we go up, the harder and faster we end up going back down. So I mean, coming down to $2.08 or $3 kind of makes sense here. Okay, for Rave coin. Okay, I actually did a YouTube short and a TikTok about Rave coin earlier today. You guys can check it out. But I mean, the target's a little bit different because Rave coin only topped out at $11.50. So my Fibonacci was a little bit drawn differently there. This time around, because we actually went to 1270, I just readjusted the Fibonacci up to 1270. And these are the new updated targets here for the Fib levels for Rave. But yeah, there's really no volume, no support here on Rave until we get down to like below $3. So, I mean, we're playing with fire, trying to long this thing. But I mean, we did do the normal pullback here, coming down to $7.94. Let's see, right now, we came down to $7.41. So like we already did the normal pullback here. I would expect some sideways price action going on here until we decide, is the 618 going to hold and then we can go up to higher prices up to like $10, or is it not going to hold and then we start drifting down to like 0.5 retracing at $6.46 here. I see we got CCM in the chat here. Good to see you, CCM. You brought some of your people over here. Good to see you, Crypto Coin Set. That we got Keith is also in the chat and Lockender. Good to see you guys showing up in the YouTube live stream here. Crypto Badel says hello all. And we got a CCM raid here on YouTube. That's great. That's great. I'm doing YouTube right now, and I'm also doing TikTok. So you guys have to bear with me. My TikTok guys are keeping me busy, along with the YouTube guys, and we just got a CCM raid here. I'm going to try to give a shout out to CCM, is another crypto YouTuber here that you guys will find on YouTube. First of all, don't forget to subscribe to the Meet Damien YouTube channel. We're trying to get up to like 1,000 subscribers at some point here, but we got 617, so we're more than halfway there. Just got to get a few more subscribers here. Let's go ahead and take a look at CCM. All right, so if I type in crypto coin mindset, it should come up, right? Let's see, crypto coin mindset. There we go. There's crypto coin mindset. He has about a couple of thousand subscribers himself here on YouTube. Let's see. Crypto Coin Mindset. Yeah, he usually does podcasts with a few other guys that are involved in the cryptocurrency world. You might want to watch one of his live streams here, but it seems as though he goes live Mondays and Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. Let's see, Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So he must have just got done with his live stream just now for him to come in and actually bring his CCM raid here. Guys, I gotta see something here. My power cord to my laptop is just not connected. I think there we go. All right, we got power back on. Good. I don't want to lose power while I'm on the live stream here. That would suck. All right, back to the chats here, and then back to the chat. Juan Solar Navarro says Vapiros. You said that they're manipulated cryptocurrencies on coin tracking, and you're being threatened by what? What? You're being threatened by people in the U.S. And then I don't know what you mean by my perfil. Yeah, are you bringing some drama onto the live stream? I don't want that drama if you're trying to bring drama over here. Thank you, Sir King B, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. And let's see. Crypto Coin Mindset says, can't forget COTR Fridays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. All right, yep. They also go live on Crypto Coin Mindset's channel there. They go live on Fridays at 7 p.m. Did I miss that? Let me see if yeah, Fridays, they do like a podcast, Crypto on the Rocks, Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. He just mentioned that in the chat just now. All right, let's see. Someone, we have K Grant saying, what's my take on Solana for 2026? We'll take a look at Solana. I'll give you my bullish and bearish targets. We'll look at the daily time frame because you did say you wanted to look at Solana for 2026. So let's look at Solana for 2026. I'll try to give you my ideas, like what I would expect with Solana. Solana currently trading at $86.14. Let me get rid of the VRVP indicator here. And I'm going to just zoom out here so we get the bigger picture view here for Solana. Solana seen better days in 2025, obviously. We saw that Solana in 2025, it had its all-time high in 2025 at $295 back here in January. That was right when Donald Trump got inaugurated. And then since then, it was this brutal sell-off over the last 3 months after that. We climbed back up, got up to highs in September at $253, $257, somewhere around there. Yeah, $253 was the high watermark here in September. Let me go throw on the moving averages because I want you to see something here. Okay, Solana lost its moving averages. Right, it was very bullish, being above all the moving averages here in September of 2025. But then you lost the 21 EMA, that white line. You lost the 50-day, the 100-day, and the 200-day, all around like October, November timeframe. Okay, since then, you haven't been able to climb back up to those moving averages, except for the 21 EMA. You haven't been able to climb up to like the 50-day moving average. Like you got close to it here in January, but you didn't. Okay, you didn't even touch it before getting basically rejected from the 50-day moving average. Okay, now here with Solana, you're coming up to this, you know, the 50-day moving average is very close and right above our heads at $98, that green line right there. Okay, but if we get up to $98 in the next few days, next few weeks here, I would expect a rejection, an initial reaction where we go, you know, get sold off at $98 here on Solana. Okay, if we don't, then I mean that would be great to see. We could see maybe Solana climb up to the 100-day moving average and then get rejected. The 100-day moving average is at $109, not too far away from that 50-day moving average. But I can't be bullish on Solana until we actually get the price action above the 200-day moving average. Right now, the 200-day moving average is sitting at $129. That's going to take some time. Unless we just, you know, get a green god candle out of nowhere and just shoot right up to $129 the next day or tomorrow. You know, I would expect Solana to have a problem getting above the 200-day moving average until it's no longer a problem anymore. Okay, and that might not happen. Like, you know, price might just creep up, and we might go into May or June before we get up to that 200-day moving average. Okay, but I think that's a very important moving average to have on your chart here, because that 200-day moving average, in my opinion, when you're below it, you're in a bear market. When you're above the 200-day moving average on the daily time frame, you can cautiously say you're bullish at that point. You can say you're in a bull market if you get above the 200-day moving average and can stay above the 200-day moving average. Okay, because let me just show you here. Like, you know, this was a bull market here, and we'll take this going back to like 2023. Okay, when Solana was trading, you know, back in 2023 at like 30-40 bucks here. Okay, you were clearly above the 200, the 100, the 50, and the 21 EMA, and yeah, you're going up exponentially up and to the right here. Okay, but this is the hallmark of a bull market, right? Getting above these moving averages here. When Solana was in the bear market back in 2022, look what it was doing. It was below all the moving averages. Okay, we were below the 200, 150, and the 21 EMA. Okay, and then Solana like bottomed out here at $8 here in like December of 2022, clearly below all the moving averages here. Okay, but then look, then life got brought back into Solana here. You know, they breathed life back into Solana here in like January 2023 when you actually got above that 50-day moving average. And then, of course, the next order of business was to get above the 100, and the next order of business was to try to get above the 200. But you see, like, that 200 moving average acts as a problem even when you're trying to get out of the bear market lows for Solana here. Okay, so you know that 200 moving average is going to be a problem in the future here, right? And right now, it's sitting at $129. Okay. Yeah, those are targets to the upside for now for Solana. All those moving averages above you are your targets to the upside. Now to the downside, you know, if I don't know what's going to happen in the future here. I'm not a psychic, okay, but if things get really bad in the Middle East and they're not able to open up the Strait of Hormuz and they're still having a war in the Middle East, and then maybe like another war breaks out somewhere else and sends, you know, people scared and running for the hills and selling off their stocks and crypto. I'm just trying to give you an idea. I'm not sure what's going to be the next shoe to drop. It could be a cryptocurrency exchange that gets hacked. Maybe one of these big cryptocurrency exchanges, like we saw Bybit last year get hacked. Imagine if Bybit got hacked right now. What would that do to cryptocurrencies right now? People's confidence are already pretty shaken up in the market. You know, if we get like a cryptocurrency exchange that gets hacked, or one of these cryptocurrency exchanges going bankrupt, that could be the shoe that drops us down to lower prices here. And if that happens, then, you know, downside targets, we do have a target here at $74.70 here for Solana. 74.70 is an area that I highlighted here on the charts only because if we just look left, right? That's what you gotta do, is look for previous price action. There is some sideways trading action going on here at $74 back here in December of 2023. That's going to be a support level for Solana, okay? We're not too far from that. I think we actually came down to that or close to it earlier this month or last month, okay? Then the next level to look out below, if we can't hold $74 on Solana, I would be definitely a buyer of Solana if we can come down to this red number here, $57.29. It doesn't have to be exactly $57.29, but in this area around $57, you were trading sideways here in November of 2023 for a little while there. You have to think, anybody that bought Solana at $57 in November of 2023, they can still sell their Solana right now at profit. So there's still selling pressure. But when Solana starts dropping down to where these people bought here at $57 in November of 2023, guess what? They're not going to be selling their Solana at profit. They might decide to just not sell anything and then just maybe hold on to their bags, wait for higher prices. So the selling pressure should start dying down when we get to $57 here. And I think that's going to be one of your bear market lows here for Solana if Solana's going to continue being in the bear market. Okay, so there you go. That's why, when I look at the chart here, I still got this red line here at 57 bucks here, and I got this other red line here at $74. These are the targets that I'm looking for to buy some cheaper Solana later on in 2026. Hopefully that answers your question there. All right, let's see. Rich Sandberry, also known as Sir Naptime, asking me, was I long? Did I long? No, I was long in oil. Obviously, that I got stopped out on my oil contracts because price of oil decided to drop on us, and we can look at that if we want to look at that. But then what did I didn't really. I was trying to short Rave and trying to short Bitcoin. I got stopped out of Bitcoin, and then also Rave. I actually made a little bit of money on the Rave short, and that was it. So to answer your question, was I long? Not really today. Although I probably should have. I should have longed Bitcoin, and I should have longed the other cryptocurrencies that did go up today. My mind is that the blockade was going to be bad for the markets because there's basically no oil leaving the Strait of Hormuz at all, because you got Iran preventing United States and other oil tankers that are friendly to the United States. You got Iran preventing those oil tankers from leaving, and then you got United States now is going to prevent Iranian oil tankers from leaving. So nobody's going to be able to leave the Strait of Hormuz. You got two countries blockading each other. They're not shooting each other right now, as of yet, because of the ceasefire, but if they're preventing everybody from leaving the Strait of Hormuz, then how do we see lower oil prices? I don't get it. And if we're not going to see low oil prices, then how are we going to see inflation come down, lower interest rates, and a better stock market? I don't know. It doesn't make sense to me why we went up today. But apparently the optimism was just too strong in the markets here. But you can see, we are getting red now. I think people are starting to see a little bit of reality come here. All right, the Strait of Hormuz is actually shut down here, guys. We didn't actually open up the Strait of Hormuz. So I don't know why you guys were buying crypto and stocks today, but hey, you guys did it anyways. So yeah, it was hard for me to be long with me knowing that the Strait of Hormuz has two blockades on it now. You have Iran blockading the Strait of Hormuz, and then you have the United States blockading the Strait of Hormuz. So I don't know how we can be bullish on any of that. Dane says TP what? Take profit on what? What are you trying to ask for take profit on? You gotta give me more to work with there. Thank you, Quantum33, for following me here on TikTok. Appreciate that. Thank you, Crystal Lee, for following me here on TikTok. Let's see. Rich says Bitcoin broke the 1 hour structure and then ripped up. Yeah, it did. I think it did that this morning. I was trying to short Bitcoin, and then I got stopped out. I was like, all right, the longs win. I'm not going to try to short Bitcoin. I was more interested in trying to short Rave at that point, so I focused on that today. Rich Sandberry says Iran won't be able to block or collect tolls from anyone. I don't know. I mean, we still have to see how things are going to play out, right? Because there's a ceasefire between America and the United States, but if, let's say, there's like a French oil tanker trying to leave the Strait of Hormuz, trying to leave, the Persian Gulf and go through the Strait of Hormuz, There's no ceasefire deal between between Iran and France, so they could go ahead and shoot a missile at a French oil tanker if they don't pay the toll. Did you think about that one? And then what is the United States going to say? The United States is going to say, oh, you can't do that, but Iran's going to be like, well, we don't have a ceasefire between us and France. And then they could still they could still launch their missiles and drones at the other countries and their neighbors, you know, the United Arab Emirates, and they can launch it at Saudi Arabia and Kuwait. Like they could still cause problems for people because the ceasefire is only between the United States, Israel, and Iran. It's not between any other country. So if they want to start trouble with other people to put pressure on the United States, they can do that. All right, let's see. Danby, thank you for following me here, and thank you for sending the gift here on TikTok. Appreciate that, Danby. And thank you, Vanita, for following me here on TikTok. Lockender says, you got me on air because you're at work. You want me to take a look at, and yeah, sure enough, I can definitely do that for you. And I hope you don't get in trouble watching me at work, but I appreciate you making the effort to do so. All right, Monad here on Coinbase Exchange. Monad currently trading at 3.5 cents, down slightly today, 3%, but I think it actually had a green day here on Monday. Yeah, you up like 10% today. We're only down 3% because we just started. Like, we're 45 minutes into the new daily candle here, and right now it's turning red on us. But you actually did have a good day here on Monday. We're up like 10%. And Monad. Oh, Monad's above the moving averages. That's good to see. You're above the 50 and the 21 EMA, and we don't really have that much data because this thing started trading on Coinbase back here in November of last year. So we don't have like a 200 or a 100 because it just hasn't been around that long enough. But I do like the fact that you're above the moving averages here. I'm going to draw a Fibonacci. And of course, you know, I love drawing my Fibonacci's from top to bottom because I want to give Fibonacci extensions to the upside. We're going to do it like that. All right, so we topped out here at 0.037 pennies, somewhere in that area. Take it down to this, I believe this could be considered the swing, the higher low here. So we'll call this the swing low. Or should I take it down? I don't know. Should I take it down to this February low here? I think I'm going to take it down to that February low here. See what that does. Yeah, so we'll just say this was just one big move up to the upside here. And Monad, all right, has a 786 retracement. Could be a shallow back, taking down to 0.032 pennies. That's where you might want to entertain the idea of adding to your position on Monad if you're bullish on it. Even better, if you're able to wait and be patient, we'll be seeing if this thing does a normal pullback down to the golden pocket here, just below 3 cents at 0.029 pennies. Is where I would try to add to Monad. I think that's also going to be where this 21 EMA is confluent with the golden pocket. So whether you're using Fibonacci or if you're using moving averages or if you're using both of them like me, you can see that 0.029 cents should be X marks the spot here for adding to a long on Monad if you're able to do so here. Okay. However, Monad is just going to continue being bullish, which it looks like it's doing, right? It's just going up and to the right. Now, you haven't really touched the 21 EMA since April 2nd here. So if this thing is going to continue being bullish and just going up and to the right, we got the 1272 saying that we could see this thing get up to like 0.043 pennies. That should be a target to the upside, which is going to be the next target. I think it would hit if it's going to continue to be bullish. And then an even more nice target, juicy target to the upside is your 5 cent target here. That's your 1618. I don't know if we're going to hit that, but, you know, if we continue being bullish, or if we give it enough time, we should see 5 cents here for Monad. And I think that's it. That's it as far as, you know, using the Fibonacci there. Now, let's see, you know, do we have momentum to go up to higher prices here? Looking at the MACD indicator, which is a momentum indicator that I like using, that I think everybody should be familiar with, but if you're not, that's fine. You know, that's why you come onto this channel as much as you can. We got the MACD indicator showing that we had a MACD crossover to the upside with the blue line cross the orange line to the upside here on March 30th. And since then, April has been nothing but buying pressure, green buying pressure, up until we're seeing pressure kind of die off a little bit here on April 12th, which was what, yesterday? And then even like right now, the buying pressure is not that strong. I want to see, you know, if I'm going to see higher prices, you guys see the green buying pressure continue to be green, and going higher and higher and higher. You have green still, but now it's turning light green and it's going over now. So I don't know if I like that for Monad here. Okay. The other thing I'm going to be paying attention to here on Monad on the daily time frame is if this blue line is going to start and cross the orange line to the downside. If it does that, you're going to get a MACD crossover to the downside. You're going to see more lower prices for Monad, but not yet. You don't have that. You can still save yourself by just continuing to go to higher prices here. So I think momentum indicator, or at least the MACD indicator, it's okay. It's fine. It's good. Would be great if it just kept going up and not showing any weakness here, but it is starting to show a little bit of weakness. And then here on the other momentum indicator, the money flow divergence indicator here, using just money flow, and then you got your momentum here. Your momentum is starting to curve down. This is the gray stuff here. It's curving down. Okay. And then money flow is still in the green. However, money flow is starting to curve down. And then you got a red sell dot here that came in on April 12th. That was what? Yesterday? Okay. So there might be a correction coming for Monad here. I've seen that with the money flow indicator here, and I've seen that with the MACD indicator here. So I think we're starting to lose our momentum here for Monad, and maybe we are going to come down to the 786. We already did that. We did that here today, earlier. Maybe we actually go further than that and come down to the 618 golden pocket, just shy of 3 cents at 0.029 pennies. That's what I'd be looking for targets right now. I think Monad might want to go down, not up. Tariq is in the chat. Good to see you, Tariq. He says, what's the story with H-bar? So we're going to look at H-bar for the next request here. Thank you for putting that request in. And I think, I don't see any other requests here on YouTube here. Maybe I'll look at the price of oil if I get a chance. All right. Let's look at H-bar. Hedera. H-bar. Currently trading at 0.086 pennies. Once again, you had a green day here on Monday, but officially we are now in cryptocurrency world. We're in, Tuesday started about an hour ago. So here we are with a red daily candle here, and with Hedera H-bar, the problem that you keep running into is this 21 EMA, this white line, still acting as resistance on the daily time frame here. When that doesn't act as resistance, okay, I would be more bullish here on Hedera. But right now, Hedera, very bearish, very bearish. You're below the 200, 100, the 50, and you're also below the 21 exponential moving average here. If we can get above that 21 EMA, I would become more cautiously optimistic, a little bit more bullish on Hedera. But you got to do it, right? You got to actually show us that you can be bullish here. Because right now, you see the 21 EMA, yeah, you get above it every now and then here, like back here in back in February and early March here. But you can't stay above it. You stay above it maybe like 1 or 2 days, and then you get knocked down. Come up above it for like 1 day, and then get knocked down again. Come up to it, and get knocked down. So 21 EMA, going to be a problem. That 21 EMA is sitting at 0.088 pennies right now. We're not too far from it. But I feel like we're kind of getting a little bit of rejection off of it right now. All right. Let's see. Can I make a bullish case for this? Well, let's see if we got some bullish divergence here. That would be the first thing I would want to see. Could you count this as higher lows here after making lower lows? I think my chart's trying to spot, you know, potential bullish divergence here, right? Where you got a lower low. If you just disregard this one bad day here, these candlewick lows here, you can see that we're still making lower lows on the price. However, we are making higher lows here on the RSI. That's your bullish divergence there, okay, for Hedera. So all this is showing to me is that buyers are stepping in. They like the price here at 8 cents. And now I'm trying to zoom out to see if have we been at 8 cents and what did that look like here. Just looking left. Something going on around here maybe, but not really. Let's see. 8 cents. Kind of acted like support here in June of 2024. 8 cents acting like a little bit of resistance here in April 2024. I'm going to go into the multi-time frame. And I'm going to put on my handy dandy VRBP indicator here to figure out what the high volume nodes are for this asset. All right, so this is the VRBP indicator off to the right here. Shows you where the buys and sells are at various price points. The more buys, the more green and the more red. You add that all together, that shows you where people were buying and selling this asset. And I do see a high volume node here around like 8 or 9 cents, which is kind of like where we're hanging out at. Then you get a little bit of a gap here, and then there's some volume here at literally 8 cents. But the majority of people, your biggest support is going to be right where this blue line is at, which is sitting at 0.052 pennies. The majority of people that bought and sold Hedera, they bought it at 5 cents. So, you know, if Hedera is not going to just get its act together and start climbing up to higher prices here, maybe we do have to go down to 5 cents. Give these people a scare, right? Well, they're probably not scared. Right now they're in profit. The people that bought at 5 cents, they can still sell their Hedera at 8.5 cents right now and still sell it in profit, okay? It's not until we get down to 5 cents that the people that bought here at 5 cents, right? Think about it. Think about it for a minute here, or even a second if you're really quick with the thinking. But the people that bought at 5 cents, if we drop down to 5 cents, they're not going to sell. They're just going to probably hold. They're just going to hodl because they're back at break even. But you know, when we're up at like 7 or 8 cents, they can sell them at profit right now. So the selling pressure won't actually die down until you get down to 5 cents. Once you get down to 5 cents, there should be hopefully a vicious, violent reaction here. You'll probably see longs and bulls start to take over, and you'll get a reaction where this thing should do at least a pity bounce, you know, a dead cat bounce off of 5 cents. And that should be your support level below you for Hedera. So that's the ultimate support level that I can see for Hedera. It would suck to see it go down there because that's almost like, I believe, a 50% drop from where you are right now. Let me just measure out here real quick. Going down to that blue line. Be a 41% drop in price from where you are right now. That's going to hurt. But that should be where your support's going to be at for Hedera. Lockender says, awesome. Thanks, Damien. You are welcome, Lockender. Thank you for coming into the YouTube live stream here. And I think that's it for requests as of now. I want to go ahead and take a look at the price of oil, because I got a sneaking suspicion that the price of oil is going to go higher later on this week. I can't imagine why it would go down if, you know, there's literally 2 blockades now. We got back-to-back blockades on the Strait of Hormuz. If Iran's not going to let it go through, then America's not going to let the oil tankers go through. So we got back-to-back blockades going on right now. And I can't imagine that that's going to cause the price of oil to go down. So let's look at the WTI here. Currently trading at $96.34. Let me get to the daily time frame here, and I'm going to move the VRVP indicator off. All right, what we're going to focus on here is the Fibonacci, which I drew from $119 is where we topped out at on March 9th here. And I drew the Fibonacci all the way down to like $61.90 here, which is where price of oil was at before the war broke out. Okay, and this Fibonacci has been serving me pretty well here. I think you guys should try to draw that Fibonacci if you're going to trade oil here, because look at this, right? We came up to the 786 retracement last night, or close enough to it. We came up to like $106. My 786 says $107 a barrel oil is what we should be aiming for potential resistance here. So we got the resistance at that 786 retracement, and we came right down to the golden pocket. Golden pocket sitting at 97 bucks or $99 for this 0.65 retracement. This is the area where I was interested in trying to long oil, but for some reason we are still creeping down to low prices here. Right now we're at $96.26. If this golden pocket is not going to hold up, there is, believe it or not, a red line here at $95. $95 has acted as support and resistance before, so we're not too far off from that. But if $95 is not going to hold up, then we're probably going to drift down to this 0.5 retracement sitting at 90 bucks. $9.63 could be where, if you're interested in taking a long on oil, you might be able to get filled there and maybe get a bounce off that level. But let me go back to this $95 level here. This $95 level here for oil, I identified it as support and resistance because if you just look left, right? Well, I shouldn't say right, but if you look left, you go back in history here, $95 was a top here, September 2023, okay? And then $95 kind of acted as resistance here in 2022, and resistance here in August of 2022. So that's why I highlighted $95, okay, on my chart. And we're kind of getting close to that level too, right now. Let's see, today, or I should say in the last hour, we only got as low as $96 here, but I believe 95, 96 should hold that support. If not, I mean, we'll head down to 9 bucks. Let's see, Rich is in the chat here. He says, the U.S. is only blocking Iran. It will let everyone else through, and tankers are heading to the U.S. All right, Rich, let's think about this for a second. The U.S. is blocking Iranian oil tankers from leaving, right? Oil that's coming from Iran. But Iran is also blocking anybody that is coming from the United States and heading to the United States. So you have Iran stopping United States friendly oil tankers, and then you have the United States themselves blocking Iranian friendly oil tankers from leaving. So how is anybody going to get out of the Strait of Hormuz? Because if they go through Iran, right? If the Iranian oil, if a friendly Iranian oil tanker fills up oil, right, and they're friendly to Iran and they pay the toll, the United States is going to intercept them, okay? But if an oil tanker from like Kuwait or whatever, or you know, Dubai starts leaving and going through the Strait of Hormuz, first of all, they got to pay a toll to Iran. And if they don't pay the toll, they're going to start shooting missiles at them. Okay? But then, if they did pay the toll, the United States is going to intercept them for trying to pay the toll. Because the United States doesn't want Iran to make any money off of the toll. So, like, how is anybody going to do business in the Strait of Hormuz if you got Iran and the United States both intercepting everybody's oil tankers? You know, it's not just the United States is blocking Iran, it's Iran's also blocking the United States. Iran has zero way of enforcing a blockade. Did you not just hear what I said? They have missiles and drones. They have missiles and drones. They have missiles, drones, rockets. They got their fast attack boats. You know, all it takes is a boat with a gun on it. It doesn't have to be a giant warship. And it's going to cause trouble. Okay? Think about it. These oil tankers, they have highly flammable explosive oil on them. All you gotta do is put. I mean, I'm not a military expert, but you gotta put a gun on a speedboat. Yeah, you even if it doesn't blow up the ship. Do you think the sailors on that ship are gonna want to deal with Iranian speedboats that can shoot, 30 millimeters or whatever guns that they got, and then risk their lives just to get oil through the Strait of Hormuz? No, they're not. And then these fast attack boats, they can drop mines as well. You could go on a fishing boat and drop a mine. So they can enforce their blockade using mines. They don't need a warship. No, you're not, Rich. Look it up. Look it up. They still got a fast attack boats. They got their fast attack boats in shelters with hardened shelters that prevent the United States from launching missiles and bombs on them. Look it up. The fast attack boats, they're protected right now. But anyways, yeah, Rich, just do some more research on that. Iran can enforce their blockade. They just don't do it with naval warships because they don't have any of them. But they still got fast attack boats. They got fishing boats with guns on them. And I'll tell you this, the fishing boats with guns on them, that's just as lethal to a sailor as as a destroyer with rockets and missiles and guns. It's still gonna hurt. Bullets still hurt. Chuel says, what's the name of the volume indicator that I use on the right side? That is the visual range volume profile indicator. I did a video here on TikTok. I see that you're on TikTok and you're asking me that question here. The VRVP indicator here, very useful indicator that shows you the price levels to be looking for. Right now, there's a high volume node here on oil at $95 and $97. So we're already at like a high volume node here. But if you go onto the Meet Damien TikTok channel, right? I do have on my TikTok channel, I do have some videos that I pinned here. I got the VRVP indicator video pinned to the top of the channel. It's a very popular video because not only do beginners can benefit from knowing about the VRVP indicator, but even expert traders who never used the VRVP indicator before, they can see how useful it is. And everybody is learning how to use the VRVP indicator looking at my video here. I suggest you go ahead and actually watch this video here. It's on TikTok, right? And
welcome, guys. I am Damien.
I go into like how to set it up and then how I trade with it. Because when you turn on the VRVP indicator, it's not going to look like this, right? You're not going to get the value area high, the value area low, and the point of control unless you actually click those things on. And then on top of that, like I'll just give you a brief, summary of it. But like on the input side, right, on your settings here, the input, the VRVP indicator is going to look like this when you first start it off. It's going to have 24 on the row size, and it's going to look blocky and choppy. You're not going to get that precise measurement that I get, okay? Unless you go in here and just add a 0 to that 24, okay? So it's 240 on the row size, and then you get more precise measurements here where you can actually see the gaps in between the high volume nodes here, okay? Also on the VRVP indicator here, if you go into style, you want to make sure you get the value area high checked off, the value area low checked off, and the point of control checked off, because you're not going to get those lines. And once you check that off, I actually make my point of control blue so it stands out on the chart and I can look for it very easily. So that's usually how I set up the VRVP indicator. Rich, you're funny. You're funny with the stuff that you're saying. Rich, like, yeah, I'm happy to see that the destroyers and the U.S. military is going into the Strait of Hormuz, but then they themselves become targets. You have to remember that. And Iran still has missiles. Their missile factories are in Russia. Their missile and drone factories are in Russia. We can't even destroy them if we want to, unless we attack Russia. So they're building their missiles and drones in Russia, and then they're launching them and they can launch them and just pick whatever target they want, and they don't have to destroy every single oil tanker. They only have to destroy one oil tanker to send a message and scare the rest of them away. So it only takes one shot. It's like, the best analogy is like an NFL offensive line and defensive lineman, okay? Like, the United States is like the offensive line, okay? And think about it. During a football game, you could have like 60 or 70 plays, okay? It only takes one bad play. The defensive lineman is getting his butt kicked by the offensive lineman all throughout the game, but it only takes one or two plays where that defensive lineman breaks through and gets a sack and messes up the quarterback, and that could be game over, right? That could be game over for you, just having one bad play. Same thing with the Strait of Hormuz. You have one bad day where an oil tanker gets blown up. You think the other oil tanker is going to want to go through that? Iran only has to be successful on one day, and that causes the insurance companies to be like, you know what, we're not going to actually insure this, and if we are, we're going to charge too much money, and it's not going to make sense for you to actually send oil to the Strait of Hormuz, because we're not going to pay for these oil tankers that are getting blown up, even if the risk is only 1 out of like 100. 1 out of 100 is still unacceptable. So they got their work cut out for them, and I think that's going to make it tough for oil prices to go down. Maybe oil prices don't go up, but I feel like they're going to have a tough time going down until the war is over completely. All right, Chual says he's going to check out the VRVP indicator video. Appreciate that. And don't forget to follow me if you haven't done so already. Guys, don't forget to follow and subscribe so you can see me show up on your feed here for your YouTube and TikTok. I usually go live around this time, between 8 p.m. to like 9 or 10 p.m. Eastern time. And I do try to punch out some YouTube and TikTok shorts every now and then. Some YouTube shorts and TikTok videos whenever I can. Trend Outfit says buy or sell. Buy or sell what? That's a very open, ambiguous question there. What do you want? What do you want to buy or sell? You gotta give me something to look at here. Let's go back and look at the price of Bitcoin. We haven't really looked at Bitcoin on the smaller time frames yet. The bigger time frames, I think, we could be running into an issue with the 50-day moving average, that green line sitting at 75K. Did Bitcoin actually get to 75K? No, we got to like 74,500, but we're getting close to it. Let me get rid of the VRVP indicator for now. But I already said 75K could be a problem for Bitcoin unless it isn't a problem, and then 80K could be the next target to the upside, which is where that 100-day moving average is sitting at for the most part. Then downside targets, 69,500 with that 21 EMA could act as support maybe. But sometimes it overshoots it to the downside. I wouldn't be surprised if we come down to 67K here on Bitcoin for some support. Let's look at the 1 hour time frame. Try to figure out what Bitcoin might do next year for the day traders. Day trading wise, Bitcoin is still bullish. You're above the 200, 150, and the 21 EMA. You're heading up and to the right on the 1 hour time frame. And you got this DeluxeAlgo indicator, signal indicator, saying that you should have long Bitcoin at 12 o'clock in the afternoon, my time. I'm over in Mountain Standard Time here. So yeah, about maybe like 7 hours ago is when this long signal fired off, and look, it hasn't been wrong. Bitcoin still wants to go up to higher prices here. Let's look at the RSI here real quick. RSI is overbought at 71, so you might be pushing your luck for higher prices here. There might be a correction coming soon. We did see the RSI get as high as 78 around about 3 hours ago. 4 hours ago. MACD indicator for momentum is showing that buying pressure ever so slightly die off a little bit. I think, you know, for the longs and the bulls out there, if you haven't took profit on your longs, I mean, you should be taking profit because we had a pretty good day, pretty decent day. Go ring the cash register if you haven't done so already. Make sure you don't forget to pay yourself. And then here on the DeluxeAlgo indicator, money flow and divergence indicator, we got money flow still in the green here in the 1 hour time frame. However, we got a red sell dot that came in about an hour ago. Yeah, an hour ago was the red sell dot. Momentum starting to curve down. If this continues, you'll start seeing money flow start curving down as well. And then you'll see money flow go negative here. And you'll see lower prices for Bitcoin for sure. These are like my 3 main indicators I like using to figure out whether we're going to be bullish or bearish. And it looks like Bitcoin, I think it's a little bit exhausted right now in the 1 hour time frame. We might come down to the 73K area. We're only about $1,000 above it, but we might come down to the 73K area. Let's see if we got any other smaller time frames to look at here. We'll look at the 15-minute time frame, see if there's any moving averages that could give us some. Not really. Most of the moving averages are still below you on the 50-minute time frame at 71,900. Although look at this, I think 73K, like 73,200 was an area that I marked on the chart. Okay. We did some sideways trading at that level there, so I think if we do drop down here, we're gonna probably hang 73,200 before we make a decision as to whether or not we're gonna drop down further, or maybe we come up and get a bounce off that level. Interestingly enough, look at this right now on the 21 EMA on the 15-minute time frame. We actually came right down to it, got a bounce off of it. And we just started a new 15-minute candle just now. All right, now it's turning red. Are we going to try to revisit the 21 EMA one more time here? I don't know if we're going to continue watching the chart for the next 15 minutes, but you know, this is right now acting as support for now. But you know, just give us some more time here in the next hour or two. You'll find out if we're going to actually hold this as support, or if we're actually going to come down to 73,200. But we're now starting the beginnings of maybe a downtrend here on Bitcoin. And the 15-minute 21 EMA was an idea to try to add to a long if you wanted to do so. If this is going to continue being bullish, I mean, I think 75K was the next order of business, right? Oh damn, we actually did hit like 75K almost. Yeah, look at this. This must have happened like right when I was setting up the live stream. We hit 74,900, so we actually already kind of came close to hitting that 50 moving average. It's only about like $300 away, but still. I don't know, guys. I don't know. This is gonna be a problem going into tomorrow. This 50-day moving average at 75K. Right now it's sitting at 75,100 to be exact. All right, let's see. Rich is talking about Rave coin broke the 15-minute structure. Look out below. Yeah, I said that earlier today on the Discord. I said we're getting the drop on Rave coin. Francisco Santos says, wouldn't this be a trap for bulls? The liquidated, the shorts, and I don't think the market makers will make it easy for bulls either. Those evil market makers, huh? Yeah, they don't make it easy for anybody. But we try to look at the levels here and look at the moving averages, and yeah, I think this move has been exhausted. I'm trying to figure out, like, how do we stay bullish going into tomorrow? Because oil prices are still near $100 a barrel, and putting a blockade, so they're going to prevent Iran from sending oil out, and Iran's preventing the United States and Israel from sending oil out to the Persian Gulf. So how is anybody going to get oil out, and how is that going to cause oil prices to go down? How is that going to cause inflation to go down? How is that going to cause interest rates to go down? You know, this war in the Middle East is a problem for Japan because Japan gets almost all their oil from the Middle East. And Japan, if they're now paying more money for their oil, they're now going to get inflation is going to start eating away at their economy. And Japan has some of the lowest interest rates in the world. They just recently started raising interest rates because of inflation. And this was before the war started. Now the war has started and inflation is getting worse in Japan. That means Japan has to raise their interest rates, which is probably going to force every other country around the world to raise their interest rates too. There's a possibility we might actually see interest rate hikes again. And that's not going to be good for cryptocurrencies and stocks. Rich, you sound like a true red-blooded Republican. He says gas is still cheaper than under Biden. When I remember gas was in Massachusetts back in 2022, it got up to like almost $5 a gallon. It went up to like $4.90, got really close to it, but didn't. We're at like $4 a gallon all around the country, all around the United States, as far as I know, last time I checked. And yeah, we're just shy of it, right? But here's the thing. In 2022, we're gonna have to look at the oil chart here, okay? In 2022, that was like a spike, and then it came down real fast after that, okay? Okay, so let's look at 2022 here. Because Rich is like, oh, it's still cheaper than under Biden. So yeah, in March of 2022, right? That was a month after the war started in Ukraine. We saw oil get up to like $126 a barrel, okay? And then it dropped down initially, and then it started creeping up, okay? Because they started putting sanctions on Russian oil and all that stuff, and they had to figure out where they're going to get the oil from besides Russia. And here in June of 2022 is when oil got up to $121 one more time before it then, this ended up being behind, and it dropped down. Okay. This was when gasoline in Massachusetts, when I could remember, was at like $4.90 a gallon. You have to take something into consideration, Rich. The reason why gasoline is not as expensive as when it was during Biden is because it takes a month or two for the oil prices, for the gasoline prices to reflect the drop in supply, okay? Right now, we're starting to see some problems now, but this past month, we still had oil tankers that left at the end of February out of the Persian Gulf before the war broke out. It takes them a month to send that oil from the Persian Gulf to the United States, okay? So those oil tankers finally arrived in the United States, okay? And then that oil has to then get off and get processed in a refinery, and then has to go onto a truck or whatever and get sent to the gas stations, right? It has like a month or two lag effect is what I'm trying to tell you here, okay? It's only been 1 month into this war, and we're already at $4 a gallon. Give it another month, we'll probably see $5 or $6 a gallon, especially if oil is going to be hanging out near $100 a barrel, okay? And then another thing I take into consideration is we actually have, they increased the taxes on gasoline, so we're already dealing with high taxes on gasoline, and they haven't really given us any relief. So maybe they could give us relief to keep the price below $5 a gallon. But yeah, we've only been a month into this war, and guess what? There's no oil tankers leaving right now. So guess what? A month from now, it's going to be worse than what it is right now. The gasoline price is going to be higher than what they are right now. because it takes a month for that oil to get from the Middle East to the United States. They have to actually send it on an oil tanker. It has to travel through a couple oceans to get to the United States. The oil price went up because of day traders like me and you, leverage traders, right? They bet that, you know, that this is not going to be good, okay, for the economy. So that's one reason why it started going up. Even before those oil tankers were able to leave the Middle East and come over here. And another thing you have to take in consideration, Rich, is we dipped into the strategic oil reserve. We already went through like 300 million barrels of oil all around the world got dumped onto the market last month, and oil is still at $97 a barrel. So like, what happens next month? Are they going to dump another 300 million? They can only do that maybe 2 more times, and then we have no more strategic oil reserve left. So they already played that hand where they use the strategic oil reserves to help keep the prices down, because we should be at $126 a barrel. We should probably be at like $150 a barrel right now. But the strategic oil reserve is one reason why we're still seeing oil below $100 a barrel right now. So there you go. Let's not forget about that. We already went through the strategic oil reserve to keep the prices down. And yeah, we still haven't hit the summer demand yet. Like we still haven't hit. Like people are just now getting on their boats to, like, you know, get their boats ready for the summer. We still haven't hit like wedding season yet, right? We're about to go have people, you know, travel and go on vacation and go on weddings and go on, you know, vacations with their kids during the summer. Like, it's gonna get worse this summer for gas prices. So you just wait. You'll see your gas prices just as high as what they were when Biden was in control. Maybe even higher than Biden. Then what are you gonna say? Oh, it's inflation, right? Yeah. You can only say that for so long before reality hits you. Oh man. All right, guys, we talked about oil, we talked about Bitcoin. Do you guys have any other requests? If not, I'm going to probably end the live stream because I want to go hit the gym. But let's look at the 15-minute chart here for oil real quick here. See if I should add to my long on oil. It's still going down and to the right. I don't like the direction it's going, but we are starting to see some bullish divergence here on the 15-minute time frame. Let me just see if I can show that to you here on the RSI real quick. Yeah, you're kind of making ever so slightly higher lows here on the 15-minute time frame, while making lower lows on the price for the 15-minute time frame. So you got your bullish divergence showing up. Buyers are stepping up to defend $95 and $96 a barrel. But man, they say that the CME gaps get filled, and sure enough, it definitely got filled. It got filled like literally the next day. But we had this gap up in price where we gapped up to like $106 last night, and then we just slowly started bleeding off here because, I don't know, I guess people like Rich think all of a sudden, you know, stopping Iranian oil tankers is going to make the price of oil go down. If you're preventing Iranian oil tankers from going to China and Pakistan and India and Japan, then how are their oil prices going to go down? They're going to have to buy the oil somewhere else because they can't get it from Iran anymore. That causes the price of everything else, oil, or all around the world, to go up. There's a line of ships coming for that U.S. oil. Well, we don't have that spare capacity. We're already at like capacity here in the United States. So like they can come for United States oil, but that means we have to drill for more oil. And that takes time. And then you have to convince the oil companies that it makes sense, because like they could start drilling for more oil right now, but then what if the war comes to an end tomorrow or next week? Then they invested all that money to drill more holes, and now they don't need more holes because now the oil in the Middle East is actually, the war is over. So there's a lag effect to like whether or not the United States oil companies are going to actually drill for more oil or not. They got to see oil prices stay high for like a month or two, maybe like 3 or 4 months before they start investing in drilling for more oil. So there's you know, some moving parts here. I only know these things because I've been trading and investing in the market since I was like 18 years old. I used to watch you know, CNBC before I turned 18 years old. And I traded oil. I remember seeing oil get up to like $140 a barrel back in 2008. And there wasn't even I mean, there was a war, you know, with Iraq, but you know, that was like kind of to an end at that point. It wasn't like the beginning of the war, like 2003. But I've seen oil prices, and I've been invested in oil companies before. I know what they have to go through. I know there's so many levers. It's a very diverse environment out there. Yeah, you know, oil is having a hard time leaving the Middle East, but they could start drilling for more oil in Venezuela. They could start drilling for more oil up in Norway. They can start drilling for more oil in Russia and wherever they can find the oil. They can also drill for more oil in the United States. But the United States companies, they have to see that there's a trend first before they start, you know, drilling for more oil. Okay, they're not going to just drill for more oil because the price went up like in 1 month, because it could go down the next month. So they need to see higher oil prices for longer before they start investing in drilling for more oil. But I mean, these prices do justify them drilling more oil. They just have to see it stay at this level for longer than 1 month. They want to see probably like 2 or 3 months before they start drilling for more oil. Yeah, Rich. I mean, it will help the United States oil companies. It doesn't hurt the United States oil companies. I'll give you that. Actually, you know what this does is we had that incident with Maduro in January where we took Maduro and we brought him to the United States, and now there's a possibility that oil companies could start drilling in Venezuela, but the American companies were like, it doesn't make sense to drill for oil in Venezuela because it's too expensive. Like, and the oil that they have is like, there's a lot of like contaminants in there that they have to remove before they can put it in the refinery and process the oil, and that costs extra money to take those contaminants out. But now with oil at $97 a barrel, it actually might make economic sense for them to drill in Venezuela, go through the process of getting rid of those contaminants, which costs extra money, slows things down a little bit, but they can then sell that oil at a higher price. So this might actually open up Venezuela. This might actually be beneficial for Venezuela. But anyways, that's enough about the oil price here. We talked about Bitcoin. We talked about oil. I haven't had any other requests here. I do want to hit up the gym before the gym closes. So I'm going to end the live stream here. On that note here, guys, let's plan on going live again, same time tomorrow. We'll take a look at the charts. Once again, we'll see what's going on with oil. We'll see what's going on with Bitcoin. We'll see what's going on in the stocks. If you guys have any stocks you want me to take a look at. Juicy Juice says, is oil going back up? I believe so. I'm trying to long oil. We're basically, we covered the gap. We filled the gap here, going from like $96 up to like $106. Only then come back down to $96. So I think now might be a time to take a look at long and oil. Yeah. And then you can put your stop loss really tight. I usually do my stop losses like $2 below wherever I buy oil. So if I'm buying oil at $97, I'm putting the stop loss at like $95. I'm using like 10x leverage. And if I get stopped, I get stopped out. It's not that big of a deal. But yeah, I am targeting $107 a barrel oil, which we kind of did almost last night. So that would be the first target to the upside. And then the next target after that's going to be $119, which is the highs that we saw back in March last month. So $97 a barrel to me seems cheap enough to try to take a long, right? So I would do it. Not financial advice. Get that disclaimer out. Financial advice, but that's what I'm doing myself. Is long in oil at $96, $97 here. All right, guys. Let's plan on doing this again tomorrow. Don't forget to smash that like button. Double tap your screen here on TikTok. Let's try to get up to like 2,000 likes here. We're at 1,600 likes here on TikTok. And don't forget to follow me and subscribe, right? So you can see me again on the next time I go live here, guys. Take care, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Just make sure I didn't forget anybody. Hey, Rich, I didn't say F that request. Looks like, yeah, I did get a request for Solana, but we actually covered Solana earlier, Francisco. If you go probably like middle of the live stream here, we had a request from K Grant. He actually asked for Solana earlier in the live stream, so if you want to just rewind the tape here, you'll be able to see my thoughts on Solana. We actually did a deep dive on Solana. If you wanted to know what the prices for Solana would be for later on this year. So we already did that. But yeah, you guys have to watch the replay, or I can just tell you, like, I still see downside target of like $57 and $74 on my downside targets for Solana. And then I believe we had some moving averages above us on Solana. $98 and then $109 are your targets to the upside. But you can look at how I got to those targets by going in the replay. You'll see it earlier in this live stream we talked about Solana. Okay? Alright. See you tomorrow. Or you can ask again for it tomorrow on the live stream. We'll look at it again.